from Hippel.
Can I ask a question? Does anybody know about Hethel Engineering Centre? Could you put your hands up if you've heard of it? Does anybody want to actually tell me what they think we do there? Okay, and anything else?
You've got a small business.
Okay, and anything else?
I can't assume you would be able to load
Okay. I mean, that's really helpful to get that. To give you, what I'd like to do is just give you a real brief overview of why we're here, what we've been doing, but I'm really keen to talk to you about where we're going, because that's in a sense where I hope where we can connect with you. Hethel Engineering Centre was set up in 2006-07. In a way, it was actually set up a lot earlier than that. A guy called Colin Chapman came to Norfolk in 1966. For me, he's a true innovator. He's an aeronautical engineer who decided a few years before that to set up Lotus. So he turned up at Hethel. Norfolk many years ago was full of air bases, and Hethel is an ex-US air base. And effectively, the government gave him money to turn the airbase into what is today Lotus. Hethel Engineering Centre is actually just down here. We're very close to what was the fuel dump. Why were we there? Hethel was set up because we've seen a lot of manufacturing businesses leave Norfolk. So we were there to create a hub, a place around which engineering businesses could come together. The hub is trying to create a community. In my kind of language, we call it a cluster. And what we found is by bringing businesses together in engineering and manufacturing, by creating a cluster, by putting academia around that cluster grows, and you can encourage innovation and really encourage entrepreneurship. So to kind of give you a geographic context, Hethel is here. Then it was about 30,000 square foot. And this is Lotus, which is about 85 acres and employs around about 1,000, 1,100 people. In 2010, we extended because of demand, which was a real surprise because we're in Norfolk, in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere. And yet the demand is there. So we've got a lot of businesses that have come to us who have enjoyed being with us and don't want to leave. What do? We provide office workshop accommodation, but only for engineering manufacturing businesses. So if you're not in engineering, then you can't be incubated within Hethel. So we're very focused on a particular sector. We provide conferencing, catering, we run events, we seek to bring businesses together, we give support, and we have on site a lot of machinery. In engineering speak, we have fusion deposition modelling machines, CNC machines, all kinds of engineering kit, which helps the business take their idea to a product. This is the start of the discussion that I'm really keen to have with people from other sectors. Hethel is known for working in engineering manufacturing, but engineering manufacturing is a supply chain. It's not a sector. It's not the future. The future for me is in sectors such as clean technology. Is Norfolk today known as a clean tech capital of anywhere? And really we want to explore that and actually identify the real strengths that we've got in Norfolk. So clean tech is looking to the future. It's looking at how do we create clean energy solutions? How do we create a clean environment? How do we create low carbon vehicles? How do we use less material? The kind of people that solve those problems are engineers. And so how do we bring those engineers together with those challenges and create a really exciting future? So We were opened in 2007. We were full by 2009. We increased in size in 2010. We've filled that. We decided to start to branch out, and we've set up a company called Hethel Innovation. We've used that vehicle in order to be able to double the size of Hethel. It's been a bit of a rocky road, and I was saying to Tom earlier that it's kind of been a bit, are we going to get there or not? Yesterday, everything went through. So we start constructing our next building in the next couple of months, and it should be up by the end of this year. It's 25% pre-let. For us, that's a real achievement. It's created that cluster, that kind of exciting brand that is Hethel. Anybody any idea what the rents are for startup engineering businesses at Hethel? Give me a guess. We'll be talking numbers. Give me a number. Say again? Okay, you're not actually that far off. The rents are, the highest rents for offices are £25 a square foot. In Norwich you can get £5 a square foot, 6, 7. So these businesses are paying high rents, but what they're paying for is all that support, being in that cluster, being in the supply chain, knowing what's going on in their sector, and being able to connect up with people and identify partners very quickly in order to develop their new products. That's what we want to build. Lotus want to call it the Lotus Technology Park. I want to call it the Hethel Technology Park. Obviously I will bow to the greater of the two. So far we've started up 70 businesses. Our 71st came through last week. That's 10 startups a year. They have created about 300 jobs. Once we've built the technology park, we will have been employing about 1,500 engineers. This is the second biggest single employment site in Norfolk, only to Norwich Research Park. In 2005, if you'd have joined me at Hethel, we would have been on deck chairs in a field. So for us, we've come a long way. And hopefully the context that we want to bring is something that is world class, something that people will know all over the UK. If you add Lotus employment with Hethel's in the next 10 years, that's 3,000 engineers. That would make us the third biggest automotive cluster in Europe. As I say, 2000, 2001, we weren't even here. So it shows you what you can do by bringing businesses together. Sector focused, doing innovation together. What we've been trying to do is to help engineering businesses to innovate. And we do that by helping them explore their assets, by engaging outside of their boxes that they're often in, by helping them to learn, not by us teaching them, but by learning off other businesses, supporting them and experimenting them, ultimately so that we can create these clusters. Where we're really interested in starting a discussion is in what are the future sectors of Norfolk. So what's Norfolk known for today? I mean, just shout out, what sectors is Norfolk known for? Agriculture. Okay, anything else? Tourism. The interest of, take Lotus. The average salary of Lotus is £30,000. Its annual salary bill is £55 million. I mean, that's a fair wage. And that means there's a lot of people earning a lot more money than that. That's a high skill. And for us, we want to create more sectors with that high skill, with those high margins, with those high-tech products. Engineering is obviously the future, but not as a sector, but as supporting the future sectors. So this map is from an organisation called the Technology Strategy Board. So the top are the societal challenges: energy, food. The bottom is what they see as the technology push, the platforms that we need to develop in the UK to meet those challenges. What's really interesting from my side is that the two sectors that cross both are digital services and high-value manufacturing. But that means engineers, like me, need to cross sectors. And that's a real challenge that we want to grab hold of. So, going forward, what will Hethel be about? It won't just be about engineering. This is where we want to go. We want to go into transport, and why wouldn't we? We're next to Lotus. But we want to look into food. We want to look into built environment and energy. My goal, and where I started, was to develop a technology park, to develop Hethel Engineering Centre. But I mean, some of you probably know, who knows who funded Hethel Engineering Centre? It was Norfolk County Council. Are you surprised at that, or is that what you would expect them to do? And in a sense, what we want to do is to seek to do more of this kind of stuff, to support the Norwich Research Park, to support the UEA, to support those that are driving knowledge economy sectors. So for us, we need to engage with these kind of people. And far more than that, networks and businesses that are really seeking to work together, to cluster together, to work across sectors in order to innovate and develop whole new products and processes and services. I've got a real passion to see a new brand for Norfolk. Not Norfolk tourism or Norfolk farming, but innovating Norfolk, innovation Norfolk. And in a sense, we want to join up with those around the Norfolk that want to innovate and want to connect with engineers that want to help them innovate their products. Just finish with this slide. What we want to think about is in 20 years' time, what will the sectors of Norfolk look like? So, will we be talking about farming, food, tourism, agriculture? Or will we be talking about agri-tech, clean tech, meditech? And for us, we should be talking about those now, because we'll need people with those skills now in order to do those jobs going forward. So, in a sense, I kind of start with what is Hethel. It's great to hear some of the feedback, and hopefully you kind of get a context of where we're at and where we're going. But also, what does the future look like? And what are we doing to prepare for that future, both in terms of skills, but also infrastructure, but also in terms of brand. What is Norfolk's brand? And is it the right brand? And if it's not, then the challenge for me is who's going to change that brand? And I'm kind of looking to you guys to have a real involvement, influence within that, in order that when I, for example, invite two Chinese guys over that want to build an engine, and they've heard the place to come to is Norfolk. One of them's a billionaire. And when he looked at my Lotus Technology Park, I showed him a building, and he said, no, I want to buy the whole thing. What's he buying for me? He needs to buy the whole package of what Norfolk has to offer. So hopefully that kind of gives you a flavour of where we've come from, what we're doing, but really importantly where we're going. Thank you.